Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin is down 4% for the day, almost 11% for the week, right around $52,000. Today's video, we're going to take a look at exactly why Bitcoin price is dropping, where it's likely to drop to, and what's going to happen afterwards. You'll definitely want to stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we're talking about the Bitcoin price drop, where it's likely to go, and what is going to happen next. Before we do, guys, make sure to come join us over on Twitter at the Crypto Love, where we have some exclusive giveaways, plus all the other fun stuff of Twitter. And if you enjoy this stuff, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Now, Bitcoin has dropped over 4% today, down from $5,600 to $56,000 to $52,000. This is shortly after Willy Woo was saying that the $1 trillion price valuation is already strongly supported by investors. He was saying that 7.3% of Bitcoin's last moved at prices above $1 trillion, which is right here. That's almost a tenth. And he's saying, hey, we'll never see Bitcoin go below $1 trillion again. However, right now, $985 billion. Now, what's the reason for this? Well, first off, we know historically March is not a good month for Bitcoin. January, March, and September are really the only historically negative months for Bitcoin. And if we take a look at where Bitcoin is right now, it actually broke underneath this orange line, the 4-hour MA200. The only times that this has happened in the past year for Bitcoin was in March, and then if we scan back, in January, and if we scan back even further, way back here in September. So the only time that Bitcoin really breaks below that 4-hour MA200 is in these months when it doesn't do well historically. However, what's going to happen next month? April and May are historically huge months for Bitcoin. Because of this, we might have some insane price growth going on for Bitcoin, and I'm going to share with you exactly where coming up shortly. But there's also some other reasons why the price may be going down. First thing is the Bitcoin traders brace for record $6 billion in options to expire on Friday. What happens with this is the Bitcoin price goes to the max pain point due to the Bitcoin options market. And the max pain theory states the market will gravitate towards the pain point while heading into the expiry. That's because sellers, typically institutions or sophisticated traders with ample capital supply, often try to push the price towards the max pain point by buying or selling the asset on spot or futures markets. And if we take a look at these open options, the max pain point is right here in the middle, around $44,000. So that means that traders are going to be pushing the Bitcoin price all the way down to potentially $44,000, all the way down here towards the bottom of the bullish megaphone. Now, it doesn't have to go all the way down there, but that's the target point that they're aiming at. And not only that, but we also have some serious FUD from Ray Dalio, who's saying, where he's saying there's a good probability of a U.S. Bitcoin ban, similar to what the U.S. did with gold in the 1930s. Now, for those of you who weren't around then, I don't think many of you would be, but back in the 1930s, there was Executive Order 6102, which required all persons to deliver on or before May 1st, 1933, all but a small amount of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates owned by them to the Federal Reserve in exchange for $20.67 per ounce. So basically, they were allowed to keep 5 ounces of coins, bullion, and certificates, but the rest of it they had to sell to the Federal Reserve at a price of $20.67, which in today's equivalent would be about $408 per ounce. Now, immediately after everybody sold it back, because if you didn't, the violation was punishable by a fine up to $10,000, equivalent up to $200,000 today, and 10 years in prison. So there's a big fine if you didn't do this. So pretty much everybody gave their gold to the Federal Reserve, giving the Federal Reserve effectively 60% of the world's gold at that point. Now, when that happened, the Federal Reserve, once they had all the gold, they immediately raised the price of gold to $35 an ounce, equivalent to $691. And if we take a look, I mean, they bought it at $20. Immediately after they had all of it, they made it $35. And then we can see what happened with the gold price. Right here, this is adjusted for inflation, by the way. But right here, we have that time period from when there was rumors of it starting to happen all the way till 1934 when they raised the price from $20 to $35. Ever since then, the price has been going down. Now, we could potentially see something similar happen in Bitcoin. It seems less likely because Bitcoin is somewhat of an international money. And if people were to do this with Bitcoin, they would have an option like putting their money into Monero. Okay? Untraceable, untrackable, secure, private, and fast is basically like the security option for Bitcoin. If we take a look at Monero right now, it's basically finding some pretty solid support. So there was a lot of support in here, resistance, and now it's starting to be support. So people may be turning to put their Bitcoin into Monero if something like this could be happening. But I have another theory about what's going on with this and why Ray Dalio is saying because Ray Dalio was late to the game. Do you remember what happened a few years ago with Jamie Dimon when he was saying that Bitcoin is terrible, and then later on JP Morgan bought it at a discount? I have a feeling that hedge fund manager Ray Dalio is saying, hey, we could have a Bitcoin ban, price tanks, and then he buys it up in droves. Why wouldn't he? So, that being said, what's on the news for Bitcoin? Where is Bitcoin price going? Well, guys, this, which I showed in yesterday's video, big Bitcoin transfer worth $806 million, almost $1 billion, might reveal big institutional purchase. So if we take a look at the Coinbase Pro outflows, the red here are outflows from Coinbase Pro to Coinbase Custody. Coinbase Pro is where retail investors trade it. Coinbase Custody is where institutions buy it. Now, there was a huge movement, $806 million, just the other day on March 23rd. If we take a look at previous times this happened, last time there was a big one was March 9th. At that time, it brought Bitcoin's price from $50,000 all the way up to over $60,000. Before that was about March 5th, which brought Bitcoin's price from about $42,000 all the way to about $52,000. So each time there's a $10,000 plus move. So we could see this coming in the next few days. And as I've said previously, guys, we haven't even seen the beginning of the Bitcoin bull run. All the movement we've seen right now is just due to inflation, due to all the money printing. This chart right here shows Bitcoin adjusted for inflation. It tracks Bitcoin versus the total M1 money supply. So when they print more money, the M1 money supply goes up. So you can find this by typing BTC USD /M1. But as you can see here, Bitcoin isn't even where it was back at $14,000 in July of 2019, and definitely not even close to where it was at the $20,000 top. So because of that, I think that the Bitcoin rainbow price chart is wrong, and it looks something more like this, because guess what? Back in July of 2019, when Bitcoin was $14,000, it was still in the green area. So that means that even though we're higher than that $14,000, that's just because of inflation. They doubled the monetary supply in the past year. So right now, theoretically, we are still in the green area, which is this, and money printing is most likely going to be the new way of monetary policy of basically deflating the value of US dollars. And because of that, we are likely going to continue going up with this trend as opposed to the current trend. Now, because of that, that would make the local top not $150,000 where it was predicting previously, but the local top closer to $500,000 if it were to happen in the next couple of months. If it were to wait till the end of 2021, we could be looking closer to $1 million this cycle. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned. You'll definitely want to hold on to your Bitcoin. You definitely don't want to be scared of FUD like this, because this is just how the big institutions buy at better prices. So guys, that's all for today's episode. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll catch you later. Peace.